The 49 alien races that changed Christianity forever, what they're hiding about Jesus and Idbel. What if everything you were taught about Jesus Christ was carefully edited to hide the truth about extraterrestrial involvement in human history? The name Idbel means nothing to most people, but this entity has been orchestrating human evolution for thousands of years, and his direct participation in the crucifixion of Christ is about to shatter everything you thought you knew about religion. The Vatican has spent centuries protecting certain manuscripts from public view. Ancient texts that were deliberately excluded from the Bible. Documents that describe beings descending from the skies in crafts of light. But what they feared most was the revelation of Idbel and the 49 races that have been guiding humanity since the beginning of recorded history. Idbel is not a myth. He is not a metaphor. According to multiple sources that have emerged from classified military programs and ancient religious texts that were hidden for millennia, Idbel is the most evolved being in our dimensional system. Think about that for a moment. Not just on Earth, not just in our solar system, the most evolved consciousness in our entire dimensional reality. He operates as the primary messenger between what ancient texts called God and the countless civilizations across third-dimensional worlds. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-bending. Idbel works alongside a coalition of 49 extraterrestrial races. These are the beings that religious texts described as angels, celestial gods, and divine messengers. They weren't metaphors. They were actual physical entities from other worlds. Now let's talk about Jesus Christ, or as Idbel refers to him, Emmanuel. The connection between these two beings is something that will fundamentally change how you understand Christianity. Idbel was directly involved in the life of Jesus from the very beginning. Not as an observer, not as a distant force. He was physically present during the most critical moments of the Christ story. Picture this scene. Jerusalem, approximately 2,000 years ago. The crucifixion that billions of people have been taught to believe happened exactly as written in sanitized biblical accounts. But Idbel was there, standing among the crowd, witnessing an event that he himself had helped orchestrate. Why? Because the crucifixion wasn't just about sacrifice. It was about implanting a specific frequency of consciousness into the collective human awareness. The 49 races have been working on Earth far longer than modern humanity has existed. They were here during previous human civilizations that we have no official record of. They were the architects behind the sudden leaps in human consciousness that anthropologists cannot explain. The agricultural revolution, the development of written language, the construction of megalithic structures that we still cannot replicate with modern technology. But Idbel's role goes deeper than simple guidance. He has been the primary interface between these 49 races and humanity. When Moses spoke to God on Mount Sinai, he was communicating with representatives of this coalition. When Muhammad received revelations in the cave, these were transmissions from the same source. When Buddha achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, he was accessing the frequency that Idbel and his group had been broadcasting to receptive human consciousness for thousands of years. Here's something that will disturb religious fundamentalists. Every major religion on this planet has fragments of the same truth, but all of them have been corrupted by human interpretation and institutional control. The knowledge that Idbel and the 49 races provided was intentionally scattered across different cultures, different time periods, different geographical locations. Why? Because humanity wasn't ready for the complete truth. We still might not be. Think about alien abduction phenomena for a moment. Millions of people worldwide report being taken aboard craft, examined by non-human entities, and returned with missing time and strange implants. What if I told you that many of these encounters are conducted by members of the 49 races? They're not random experiments. They're genetic monitoring programs that have been ongoing for thousands of years. They're checking on their investment, because human DNA contains genetic material from multiple extraterrestrial sources. The abduction experiences that people describe with gray aliens, tall whites, reptilian beings, and Nordic humanoids are different factions within the coalition. Each race specializes in different aspects of human development. Some focus on genetic upgrades. Others work on consciousness expansion. Some monitor our technological progress. Others intervene when we're on the verge of self-destruction. but back to Idbel and Jesus. The reason this connection is being revealed now is because we're approaching another critical juncture in human evolution. The same kind of moment that required divine intervention 2,000 years ago. Climate collapse, nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering. We're at a threshold where we could either destroy ourselves or transcend into a higher level of existence. Do you believe life exists on other planets? Not just microbial life, but advanced civilizations that are millions of years ahead of us technologically and spiritually? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because this next revelation will show you that the evidence has been hiding in plain sight for your entire life. Religious texts describe angels as beings of light that appear to humans with messages from God. What they don't tell you is that these beings arrived in physical craft. The wheels within wheels that Ezekiel described weren't visions. They were spacecraft. The pillar of fire that led the Israelites through the desert wasn't divine magic. It was a navigational vessel from one of the 49 races. Idbel coordinated all of this. He was the project manager, if you want to think of it in modern terms. He selected Jesus specifically because of his unique genetic lineage. Mary wasn't just any woman. She carried a specific genetic sequence that made her compatible with the mission. The virgin birth story? That's a sanitized version of an artificial insemination program conducted by advanced beings. Now here's where it gets controversial. The crucifixion might not have killed Jesus. There are documents that suggest Idbel and his medical team intervened. The 3 days in the tomb weren't death. They were stasis, regeneration. When Jesus appeared after the resurrection, witnesses described him as different, changed, because he was. The resurrection was the completion of a biological transformation process. Some abductees report being shown images of religious figures during their experiences. They're told that these figures were also contactees, that the miracles attributed to them were actually demonstrations of advanced technology. Walking on water, healing the sick, raising the dead. These aren't supernatural events. They're applications of physics and biology that we're only beginning to understand. The 49 races have given us glimpses of their capabilities throughout history. The Baghdad Battery, the Antikythera mechanism, ancient Sanskrit texts describing Vimanas, flying machines with weapons of terrible power. All of these artifacts and accounts point to the same conclusion. We've been visited repeatedly. We've been taught repeatedly, and we keep forgetting. Idbel's current mission is to prepare humanity for open contact. The same way he prepared the ground for Jesus 2,000 years ago, he's now working behind the scenes to acclimate us to the reality of extraterrestrial life. The recent increase in UAP disclosures from military sources isn't accidental. It's coordinated. The timing is deliberate. Think about how many alien encounters involve beings that communicate telepathically rather than through spoken language. They're operating on a frequency of consciousness that transcends verbal communication. This is the same method that prophets and mystics have described throughout history. Direct knowing, pure information transfer. This is how Idbel communicates with his human contacts. The 49 races aren't unified in their approaches. There are disagreements among them about how much to reveal, how fast to proceed, whether to intervene directly or let humanity figure things out. But Idbel acts as the mediator, the one who balances all the different perspectives and creates a coherent strategy. That's why he's considered the most evolved being in this dimensional system. Not because of power, but because of wisdom. Some of these races look completely human. They could walk among us and you'd never know. Others are so foreign to our biology that direct contact would be traumatic. The grays that people report during abductions are actually biological robots. Avatars controlled by consciousness that exists in a different dimensional frequency. They're not the beings themselves. They're the interface. The tall Nordic beings that appear in some contact scenarios are closely related to us genetically. They're what humans might become if we survive the next few centuries and continue evolving. Some researchers believe they're actually time travelers from our own future, working with Idbel to ensure that their timeline remains stable. But the reptilian beings that appear in the darker abduction scenarios represent a different faction. Not all 49 races agree on the best path for humanity. Some believe in harsh lessons. Others advocate for gentle guidance. Idbel has to balance these competing philosophies while maintaining the overall mission parameters. Now let's connect this back to Jesus and the crucifixion. The reason that event was so important wasn't just the religious symbolism. It was an energetic anchor point, a moment of such intense human emotion, witnessed by so many people, that it created a permanent frequency marker in the collective consciousness. A beacon that Idbel and the 49 races could use to track human spiritual evolution for the next 2,000 years. Every person who connects deeply with the Christ story, regardless of their specific religious beliefs, is actually connecting with that frequency. They're tapping into the same transmission that was activated during the crucifixion. This is why Christianity spread so rapidly. Not because of military conquest or social pressure, but because people could feel something real beneath the stories. The early church fathers knew more than what made it into the official Bible. The Gnostic texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi Library. These documents contain references to multiple heavens, multiple levels of divine beings, cosmic hierarchies that match perfectly with what modern contactees describe about the 49 races. Idbel appears in these texts under different names. Sometimes he's described as the Logos, the divine word, the organizing principle of the cosmos. Sometimes he's the Christos, the anointed consciousness that periodically incarnates to guide humanity. Sometimes he's described as the angel of the Lord, appearing to prophets with direct instructions from the highest source. But here's what they didn't write in those texts. Idbel isn't bound by human concepts of linear time. He exists simultaneously across multiple temporal locations. He can be present at the crucifixion in 33 AD while also coordinating contact experiences in 2026. Because at his level of evolution, time is just another dimension to navigate. This is why abductees sometimes report seeing historical figures aboard the craft. Why some people have memories of past lives where they encountered the same beings. Why children sometimes describe alien friends who show them visions of the future. Because the 49 races exist in a framework where past, present, and future are all accessible simultaneously. The message that Idbel has been communicating throughout human history is consistent. You are not alone. You never were. You come from the stars. You carry divinity within your DNA. You have the potential to join the cosmic community. But you have to choose evolution over destruction, love over fear, unity over division. Every religion tried to capture this message, but human institutions corrupted it with dogma, rules, hierarchies of power, and claims of exclusive truth. The real truth that Idbel and the 49 races have been trying to communicate is that consciousness is fundamental. Physical reality is derivative. What you think, what you believe, what you focus your attention on, that's what shapes your experience and determines your evolutionary trajectory. The abduction phenomenon serves multiple purposes. Genetic monitoring is one aspect, but they're also identifying individuals who can handle the full truth. People who won't break psychologically when confronted with the reality of non-human intelligence. They're looking for ambassadors, bridge builders, humans who can help facilitate open contact when the time comes. Idbel oversees this selection process. He reviews each potential contact. He determines who receives what information. He calibrates the experiences to match each person's capacity for integration. Because revealing too much too fast can destroy a mind. Humans are fragile. Our reality structures are built on assumptions that can shatter when confronted with truth. That's why disclosure is happening gradually, drip by drip. First, we get grainy videos from Navy pilots. Then we get congressional hearings. Then we get whistleblowers from classified programs. Each step designed to acclimate the collective consciousness. Idbel and the 49 races learned from the past. When they revealed too much too quickly, civilizations collapsed. Religions splintered. Wars erupted. The Christ event was timed perfectly. It came at a moment when the Roman Empire had created enough stability for information to spread rapidly, but before the institutional church could fully consolidate power and suppress the deeper teachings. Those 3 centuries between the crucifixion and the Council of Nicaea were critical. That's when the real knowledge circulated among initiates, Some of that knowledge survived in mystery schools, Hermetic traditions, Gnostic sections, Sufi orders, Buddhist lineages, indigenous shamanic practices, all of them preserving fragments of the original transmission, all of them aware that human consciousness connects to something vast and ancient, all of them in contact with the same source that Idbel represents. The 49 races didn't just influence religion. They shaped science, art, architecture, music, mathematics. Every major breakthrough in human culture can be traced to moments of inspiration where someone accessed information beyond their normal consciousness, where they tapped into the frequency that Idbel broadcasts, where they received downloads from the cosmic library. This is starting to sound like science fiction, but that's because science fiction was inspired by the same source. Writers who channeled information about possible futures, artists who painted beings they saw in visions, musicians who heard melodies that don't exist in normal human frequency ranges, all of them receiving transmissions from the 49 races. Idbel's greatest challenge isn't the skeptics, it's the believers who worship him as God, because he doesn't want worship, he wants conscious partnership. He wants humanity to mature beyond the need for saviors and instead become co-creators. That's the whole point of the evolutionary journey. To grow from children who need protection into adults who can contribute to cosmic civilization. The final revelation I'll share today is this. You're part of this story, not as an observer, as a participant. The fact that you're watching this video, that this information found you at this moment, that you've made it this far without clicking away, that means something. You're one of the ones who can handle the truth. You're being prepared for what comes next. Because Idbel and the 49 races are coming back. Not in secret this time. Not in visions and religious texts and abduction experiences. They're preparing for open contact. For mass sightings that can't be denied. For an announcement that will change everything. And when that moment comes, they need humans who are ready. Who won't panic. Who can help others understand. The relationship between Idbel and Jesus was a prototype. A demonstration of what's possible when human consciousness cooperates with higher intelligence. The miracles weren't meant to inspire worship. They were meant to show potential, to prove that matter follows consciousness, that biology responds to will, that death is an illusion, that transformation is always possible. Every person who died and came back with stories of the light. Every abductee who returned with impossible knowledge. Every mystic who achieved union with the divine. Every shaman who traveled to other worlds. They were all accessing the same reality that Idbel inhabits. They were all proving that human consciousness can expand beyond the physical body, beyond linear time, beyond separation. This is the secret that organized religion tried to suppress. That you don't need an intermediary. You don't need a priest or a church or a sacred text. You have direct access to cosmic consciousness. You are a fractal of the divine. You contain the same spark that animates Idbel, the 49 races, and the source intelligence they call the Creator. The abductions will continue until enough humans remember who they really are. The sightings will increase until denial becomes impossible. The downloads of information will accelerate until we achieve a critical mass of awakened consciousness. And then everything changes. Then we join the galactic community. Then we understand our true heritage. Then we remember why we came here. Idbel has been guiding this process for thousands of years. Not because he has to, because he chooses to, because despite our violence and ignorance and self-destruction, he sees our potential. He knows what we can become. He remembers what we were before we forgot. And he's committed to helping us remember. The 49 races are watching, waiting, ready to step forward the moment we demonstrate that we're ready. That we can handle the truth without destroying ourselves. That we can integrate the knowledge without fragmenting into chaos. That we can accept our cosmic family without falling into worship or fear. Your ancestors knew all of this, before their knowledge was suppressed by empires and erased by conquest. Before their wisdom was called primitive and their practices forbidden. They maintained contact with the star beings. They understood their place in the cosmic order. They knew Idbel by 100 different names in 1,000 different languages. Now it's time for you to remember, to reclaim your inheritance, to accept your role in the greatest story ever told. Because this isn't ancient history. This is happening right now. Idbel is here. The 49 races are here. And they're waiting for humanity to wake up and join the cosmic dance that has been unfolding since before time began. The question isn't whether this is real. The question is whether you're ready to accept it. Whether you're willing to release everything you thought you knew and embrace a reality so vast, so beautiful, so absolutely mind-shattering that nothing will ever be the same again. Subscribe to this channel if you want more information about Idbel, the 49 races, and the truth about human origins. Hit that notification bell because the next video will reveal classified documents about alien genetics and human DNA that governments have been hiding for decades. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think about this connection between Jesus and extraterrestrial intelligence. Are you ready for contact? Because ready or not, it's coming.